Finally, big trades. Excited, can't wait to talk about them. Oh my god, I can't wait. Let's dive into this. I just, for the record, love this trade for both the Ducks and the Devils because it makes so much sense, you know. Actually, I have all this crap up right here. I have the cap friendlies, the hockey DBs, everything I need to know and you need to know is up. We're not going to go over every single piece because there were picks involved. I don't give a shit about picks. We're talking about the players that were involved. First, we'll look at the players the New Jersey Devils sent out. Adam Henrique and Joseph Blandisi. Henrique's the big one, so we'll talk about Blandisi first. Blandisi is a 23-year-old former 6th-round pick of the Colorado Avalanche. He's 6 foot 200. As a guy that watched Blandisi play against the Rangers a few times, the guy's pretty good. I don't know where he peaks at, though. 2 years ago, he had 17 points in 41 games. Last year, you know, he only played 27 games in the NHL. He didn't play in the NHL this year. He had 9 points in those 27 games. 14 points in 19 AHL games this year. I think that Blandisi could be a good player one day. And by good player, I mean bottom 6 player. I don't see him ever sneaking into anybody's top 6 unless, you know, you just find the right combination for him and he just grows. Which is possible. He's only 23 years old, still a young man. I think he's a good depth player. I think for the Anaheim Ducks, he's a better 13th forward than some of their other forwards that they have on their roster right now. I'm not a Ducks fan, so I can't really speak for the Anaheim Ducks, but I think I have him over Liambus, Shaw, Grant, Wagner, almost Andre Kasha, although I don't know a lot about him. Dennis Rasmussen, I like him better than all those players. Personally, just because of his age and what he can do. Although Chris Wagner ain't bad. I like Chris Wagner, but, you know, I just think there's better options out there. And it's a good move for them because we have Getzlaf, Kessler, Bowl, and Andre Kasha all on IR right now. So they need a forward. I do believe... No, Vermette's not hurt right now. That's right. Okay. So it's a good depth pickup for the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if they sent down a guy like Grant or Michael Lambus. What the fuck his name is. So probably send his ass down, and maybe they'll have Blandisi in the shell for a little bit. Moving on to Adam Henrique, one of my favorite players in the NHL, just one of my least favorite players to play against. As a Ranger fan, it kind of speaks for itself. I kind of don't like the guy. Kind of don't. We'll talk about here. Well, what can we talk about? He had his career. See, the thing with Adam Henrique, he's a weird player. He had the best season of his career 6 years ago, and that was 2011-2012, where he had 51 points. He hasn't been able to match that since then. He had 50 points 2 years ago. He had 40 last year. He only had 20 goals. So he's not as crazy as a scorer as you would hope, as a guy that was a first-line center, second-line center in New Jersey for as long as he was, but he's a great two-way forward. He's a great penalty killer, good on the face-off dot. I don't know. I like Henrique. I like the kind of player he is. He reminds me of Zibanejad, not as skilled or as high a scorer as Zibanejad is, but he reminds me in the sense that he scores. He could score greasy-ass goals, but also score some nice goals too. I love Adam Henrique in Anaheim because you have Getzlaf, Kessler, Henrique as your 1-2-3, which is ridiculous. And then you have on your fourth line, you have Antoine Vermette, who's more than capable of being a third or maybe pushing it a second-line center. So that's freaking awesome. I think Vermette's got like the third best faceoff percentage in the NHL. So I love Anaheim center core. I love this trade for Anaheim because they had a plethora of defensemen. They had a lacking up front on forward. Now they got 2 more forwards that can take over guys like Wagner and Liambus, all those guys. This is perfect. It's absolutely perfect for the Anaheim Ducks. I love this trade for them. And you know what? Adam Henrique's a tough player too. He plays hard in the corners. He's a physical player. He fits into where Anaheim is. Moving on to the New Jersey Devils return, Sami Vatanen, whatever the hell you want to call him. A very disappointing season last year for Vatanen. He only had 24 points in 71 games. The year prior to last year, he had 38 points. The year prior to that, he had 37 and 67. This year, he's only got 4 and 15. Also, the lockout season, he had 21 points in 48 games. He's a very solid defenseman, is Sami Vatanen, in that he can play a two-way game, or he can be your offensive defenseman. He's 5'10", 187, so he's not a big defenseman. He's not overly physical, but I think he's perfect. You know, here's the biggest part for the New Jersey Devils, why this trade makes the most sense. He's right-handed. I'm pretty sure the only right-handed defenseman on the Devils right now... Severson, I think? Or Severson a lefty? You know, Severson's a righty. And I think that's it. I think everyone else is a lefty. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone else is a lefty. So now Severson and Vatanen as your two righties. You can put Severson on the top pair, throw Vatanen on the second pair, and then you go Severson, Green, Vatanen, Butcher, then Santini, Mueller, or Proud, or Moore. Oh, no, probably John Moore, or Lovejoy. They do, you know, I will say, though, although they don't have a standout, or you can maybe argue that Vatanen will be one, they don't really have a standout defenseman. They do have a solid defensive depth. What I would like to see out of the Devils, if they're trying to do something, probably send out Prout and one of Lovejoy and Moore. Probably not Moore, probably more so Lovejoy, just to maybe net yourself a pick or something like that, so you don't have an overly crowded defense. Mirko Mueller is on IR right now, so I guess they really do only have 8 defensemen in the NHL. But getting rid of Prout and then waiting for Mueller to come back and maybe setting off one of the older guys like Lovejoy or Moore would make sense, especially if they're going in a younger direction. They want to grow their team from the bottom up. I mean, Jesper Bratt was a freaking beast. AJ Nunn and Alvin Canans, I think is how you say his name, they said this kid was good. You know, and no one listened to them. No scouts listened to him. The kid went in the 6th freaking round. He's 19 years old. He's already in the NHL. So, I mean, they screwed up. Every team screwed up by not drafting him. Was hoping the Rangers would draft him because they had Kovacs and Stromwell at the time he was drafted. So it would have just made sense. That's all I'm saying. Take a look at cap space. The Devils have $7.7 million in cap space, so they got plenty of money to make more moves if they want to. Not that I think they will. It would make a shitload of sense, but it wouldn't make sense not to at the same time. They could do whatever they want. You know, they got $7.7 million. At the trade deadline, they're going to have $35.8 million in cap space. The Devils are fine for cap space. At the trade deadline, they can get anybody they want for the right price. The Anaheim Ducks actually only have $533,000 right now, and I'm pretty sure they ended up getting money out of that deal. Yeah, they opened up like $500,000. Excuse me. They netted that 3rd round pick. I think, yes, it was a 3rd round pick. The trade deadline, they'll have 2.4, 6.2 including LTR salary relief pool, although I don't think they'll get it all. I'm pretty sure Kessler and Getzhoff will be back by then. But I don't really see anywhere where the Ducks need to upgrade. John Gibson's a good starter. Miller's a good backup. Their defense, although minus Sammy Vatanen, is still pretty freaking strong. They got Lindholm and Fowler. They got Juice and Boschman. They got Montour, Holzer, Josh Manson. No longer Shea Theodore, but they do have Jacob Larson, the minors, who's not terrible. I don't know anything about this Andy Walensky guy, but he's making a lot of money. He's 24 years old. I mean, listen, if they need a defenseman, there's a few on the market. They got Jacob Megna and Steve Oleski, too. Yeah, they got plenty of depth for defense. They're fine. They're fine, and up front, they're a lot better with Santini and Henrique. So that is my review. Comment down below what your thoughts are on the trade. Thank you, everybody, for watching the video. If you're watching this, I'm going to end. If you're hearing it, they'll see you on the next one. Peace.